The following podcast is brought to you by the Ebb Tide Treatment Center. Many people wrestle with addiction. You don't have to. Reach out to the Ebb Tide Treatment Center, where they wish to empower each individual encountered with the support, hope, and tools required for long-term sobriety, priding themselves on providing the best possible treatment experience for you and your loved ones based on unique needs. They're committed to breaking the stigma that plagues those suffering with addiction and their families by educating and bringing awareness to the community. The Ebb Tide Treatment Center provides individual and group therapy, multiple recovery pathways for support, evidence-based clinical support, integrated aftercare social reintegration, personalized treatment planning, program addressing whole life health, and Vivitrol program, all available. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, reach out to them at ebbtidetc.com or call 844-430-4357. Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Before we begin today's show, of course, we want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors that help us bring this show to you free each and every week on iTunes and all other platforms, including now iHeartRadio. First, I want to thank Smart Mark Video. If you missed one of our live events and you want to check it out on DVD or you want to download the MP4, head to smartmarkvideo.com and they take care of us there. Also, thanks to Angelo's Pizza. Angelo's on Madison Avenue in Lakewood. If you're over there, stop by and try one of their award-winning pizzas. And they, of course, will bring that pizza to each and every live event that we have at Mount Carmel. We want to thank them as well. And, of course, as always, we want to thank Jack Prince, who handles all of our signage and graphic design needs. If you have anything that you need done, maybe you're a small business owner, or maybe you're just trying to get something fun and great and cool started, you can do all of those things as well through Jack Prince at jackprince.com.
That's jkprince.com.
You sounding a little rough, buddy.
Yeah.
I had
like
a day. I had a night yesterday.
Like you smoked a whole pack before you walked in here.
Shout out to Jack Prince. We got a promo code for you.
Oh.
You can save up to $75 off of your order with promo code AbsoluteCLE1. Make sure to talk to our sponsorship reps, Nadia. I don't know the rest of her name. And Angie Punk with the blue hair.
Nadia Business.
Yeah, there you go.
That's her
Jack
name.
Prince.
Yeah. Well, that voice that you heard is John Thorne. The other one is Alex Worldwide Kellar, who is back.
The one that sounds like it hasn't been smoking is mine.
My name is Steve Guy, always your moderator of sorts here. On this week's episode, we're going to recap the AIW show Gauntlet for the Gold, happened back in March. As you know, we've had some delays on our podcast and other things going on, so we are going to catch you up to speed on everything that happened there. Before we do that, it is the month of May, and that is, of course, meaning that it is almost time for JLIT. It's the JT Lightning Invitational Tournament brought to you by AIW. It's Memorial Day weekend, May 26th and 27th. And if you are going to make your way into Cleveland, make sure that you book your hotel at the Hojo on Brook Park Road there. It is the airport.
That is not the proper way. That is not the proper.
It's Howard Johnson's, man. Come on.
His email is Hojo Cleveland. He says
Howard
Hojo.
Johnson's Inn.
Johnson.
Cleveland Airport Edition. It is the original JLIT hotel for all of those fans that were at the very first JLIT and were there when Brian Kendrick was telling conspiracy theories and Colin Delaney tried to go swimming in the pool.
Did you almost get called on there?
We definitely did get called on there. But that is the original JLIT hotel. We're going back to the roots.
It's back, and we hooked up a deal for you. Book your rooms.
Before you continue, I got a great story about this hotel that nobody should do at the Howard Johnson.
Oh, okay.
I may have been there for a time when a Howard Johnson employee rented out some rooms and decided to make a portal from the room we were in into the room that was next door because that person worked there and knew that it was vacant. So I may or may not have been there when the chair in the Howard Johnson was thrown through the wall, making a portal into the next room. All while Sergeant Slaughter and quite a bit of other World Wrestling Entertainment employees were staying on the same floor.
Well,
may or may not have happened.
Allegedly.
Allegedly
happened.
Allegedly.
A former employee may or may not have been involved with wrestling there.
It's good to know. Well, they will be hosting us.
We're back.
They will be hosting us J-Lit weekend, May 26th and 27th. We will be there. The rooms are $55 a night, so we got that for you. Make sure
after taxes, that's all in.
Right. When you call, make sure
Suck it, Airbnb.
Make sure that you
Don't
say
promote
you
some
are
other shit,
booking
man.
for
I'm putting it
AIW.
down. I'm burying it. 6 feet under.
That's what people don't understand when they bury things, though. They are really
Give it power.
Yeah.
they're
Give it power.
really promoting it.
That's true.
I'm learning right now.
If nobody knew about it, now they're gonna be like, "What's this?"
You know how many fucking people I'd want to bury on this podcast?
A lot.
We'll get to that. We'll
So you can book at the Howard Johnson. It's $55 a night, as we said. Make sure that you say that you are booking for the AIW event so that they know to give you that rate. Also, we will have 2 nights of after parties since there's 2 days of show. Friday night will be at Nax Eatery and Drinkery. Or is it Drinkery and Eatery? Eatery and Drinkery. It's a lot
Next
of Eateries.
Eatery and Drinkery.
Eatery and Drinkery.
I'll be drinkery.
That was where John Thorne attempted to do Sandman last year.
Oh, I'm going to be way worse this year.
Oh, fantastic. So we'll be there for that. That is night 1. And then we'll be
I was
back
I was relatively reserved at the last couple of
That's
years
true. I'll give
of
you that.
after
I'll give
parties.
you that.
This is going to be back to original form.
But the jukebox kept not working last year there.
No, this is going to be single John Thorne getting crazy at
Oh,
a J-Lit
boy.
weekend. It's been a while.
And night 2, we will be back on Madison Avenue.
Although
at
a
our
girl
usual-
did slap me last year.
Oh, that
Oh,
happened at
yeah.
the
She was
hotel.
hot.
Oh yeah, she smoked
I had
me.
a control homicide last year. But we will be back at Mihal's on Madison Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio for night number 2, the after party, our usual after party spot. So check us out.
And you
there
never know.
as well.
There may just be an impromptu live AIW podcast just popping up at one of these after parties.
You never know.
If we're sober enough and we can figure out the technology.
Or the after parties.
After a couple weeks ago at your house, I think I'm done with the after party.
And if you're still getting tickets for J-Lit, John, we still have like the combo pack available. Remember, there are 3 shows that weekend. You have nights 1 and 2 of J-Lit, and in between those, on Saturday afternoon, we have the Back to the Future Cup featuring the AIW students and also some new, fresh talent that we are infusing into the
from
AIW
from
fold.
all over the map, we got people coming in.
Yeah. So you can buy your combo pack.
There are the only way that you could sit front row is to buy the VIP combo pack. We are not selling any loose 1 night or 2 night or Back to the Future Cup front row tickets. The only way you can sit front row is to buy the combo pack, and there is a limited amount of those left. I would say probably 15 or less at the time that we record this. So yeah, I would definitely get it over to shop.aiwrestling.com, pick those tickets up, make me feel ease my mind a little bit going into J-Lit weekend, as we will get into in this episode how crazy things were in AIW just a few months ago.
We will. So make sure you check out all of those things. Buy your tickets, of course, at shop.aiwrestling.com. You can buy general admission tickets still as well.
Yeah, those are
VIP.
Those are available on an individual show basis. General admission starts in the second row, and they are first come, first serve. Obviously, we are going to let the people that purchase online in the building first. So go ahead and pick those up. Tickets are a little pricier this year than in J-Lit's past, but I'm trying to John Taffer this operation now that I have sole control of it right now. I'm trying to
big things coming.
Trying to bust open the books and get things on track, and raising the ticket prices for one show a year I thought was definitely would be acceptable. Hopefully it's acceptable to all the people listening, and we'll get into how crazy things were, just at the Gauntlet for the Gold, which was just under 2 months ago.
just under 2 months ago. March 24th was Gauntlet for the gold. It was, of course, the AIW version of, if you want to say, the Royal Rumble.
It is a Rumble Royale.
Rumble Royale. There you have it. The winner, of course, gets their shot at Absolution, which will be in July.
Which is like a mania of wrestling event.
Yes. It is a mania of wrestling events. This was the 12th Gauntlet for the gold.
Yeah, that sucks, man. That really ages me. Worldwide, you look like you had something to say. You're just itching at the mic.
Oh, I'm just thinking back to the Gauntlet when I made a brand new best friend in the biz.
Oh, yeah? Who was that?
That would be Scott fucking Norton.
That's
Scott
right.
Flash Norton.
So if you were not at Gauntlet for the Gold, our special guest for that show was Scott Norton, and we were pumping that out. And, I mean, how old is Scott Norton now? He's 50?
58, maybe?
58? Is he pushing 60?
He's like, I think he's like about 58.
The guy's a former world arm wrestling champion.
And IWGP champion, something that you did not put over during intermission, buddy.
You love that fucking Japanese pro
He
wrestling.
does. He loves it.
I love American pro wrestling, man.
I just respect the Japanese pro wrestling, man. Treat it like a sport.
Old Flash Norton wasn't sure if people would remember that he was that. I put over what he told me to put over.
Oh, but the arm wrestling...
Scott
He
Norton,
he's so proud of the arm wrestling.
Scott Norton was born in 1961, so do the math on that. I'm not
He
a
would-
mathematician.
yeah, 58
Depending on
sounds
when
about
his-
right. 57, somewhere there.
56 is what that would be, depending on when his
whatever.
birthday is.
looks fucking better
He
than I
looks
do.
fantastic. He had a match with Joey Janela, and they brawled throughout the gymnasium. He put Joey through 2 tables, and then he was nice as can be afterwards.
Well, I guess let's just get into how the Scott Norton thing came about.
Yeah.
Twitter, 100% Twitter.
His appearance in the Wrestle Kingdom
That GIF,
Battle Royal.
You know that GIF was going around of him appearing at Wrestle Kingdom, and we just kept getting tagged. I guess one thing I definitely take pride in and appreciate is people understand that we are very outside of the box and we are willing to
There's some obscure figures
to do some weird shit. And when that GIF was going around, like our Twitter was just getting blown up with like tagging us and him in it. And he followed us, and I followed him back. And
You're not gonna not follow the Flash.
I mean, the AIW Twitter account pretty much follows everybody back. I
That's
think we
true.
follow like 20-something thousand people. But yeah, so we nothing really came of. When was that, in January, right?
Yeah, January 4th.
So I don't know, like I would say maybe a couple weeks after that happened, I just slid into those DMs.
Ooh.
And we started talking, and we worked out a deal, and we didn't even know who he was going to wrestle, honestly. And
I had one idea, but that was for the Gauntlet.
what was your idea? Oh yeah, you just wanted him in the Gauntlet.
I wanted him in the Gauntlet, and then I was gonna like pull some fucking. I was gonna get some specially printed Weird World Order T-shirts, WWO. He was gonna join. We were gonna pose, hit the fucking NWO music, and then he was just gonna shit can the two of us and tear the shirt.
So I was going to bring this guy all the way in.
Just to eliminate.
Well, you
the
get another
world.
fucking match out of him, man. It's a Gauntlet. It's a battle royal,
It's a Rumble Royale.
Rumble Royale. Either way,
I'm going to bring this guy out of, straight from the fucking Tokyo Dome to do a battle royal where he joins the Weird World Order.
Yeah.
and that's for life, brother.
You want to know who also pitched a similar idea? The fucking Duke. The Duke came to me and he pitched the Duke World Order. All you motherfuckers and your fucking the brains in your fucking head all just wanted to make a something world order because Scott Norton was on a fucking flyer.
Well,
I pitched no such
You
thing.
and the Duke are virtually the same person.
hold the fuck on right now. I'm going to take that as a compliment. The Duke is so talented. It just blows my mind. And I'm just going to take, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
You really went somewhere else with that.
Yeah. I didn't know where he was going to
Me
go.
and Duke disagree on a lot of things, but I respect his,
What do you respect about him?
man, he can fucking, on these like spot shows, he fucking kills it. Period. You should have
pop-up
heard the
shows?
fucking promo that he cut in Sandusky at that head shop parking lot show.
Maybe it's because of the bald spot. He's so good on the spot shows.
Well, then maybe I need to get on that test and start losing some hair.
Are you insinuating the Duke is on performance enhancer?
No, I think he's just on age, but I'm cursed with just these thick locks. But maybe if I just start, I'm trying to bleach it out, but no.
I don't know where that just went off the rails there.
So
for
Scott Norton
slid
into those DMs.
Yeah, we worked out a deal, and I think it was at Walk the Plank. Joey Janela was like, I'll fucking wrestle Scott Norton.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, because I have no idea what to do with him. Go cut. I was like, after your match, cut a promo and challenge him. And that was what he did. That was pretty much it.
That's exactly how that went down. And I mean, they had a hell of a match. I think when Scott Norton came in, we probably all thought, right.
Worldwide would know.
Let's see what we get out of
Well,
him.
no, let me actually, funny story about that.
Up, right?
I picked him up from the airport, and he's like asking about who he's working. I'm like, oh, it's Joey Janela. He's like a big, rising star, like big name on like East Coast Indies, like that type of deal. And, then also he's like, well, who's like worked in this company before? Like what, like names? And I was like, oh, Scott Hall came in for an appearance. He's like, oh, fucking Scott. And fucking, and I'm like, we had Vader, and they're like, oh, Leon, how was he? And I'm like, he was a bit of a pill. He's like, bit of a pill, what's that mean? I'm like, he was kind of a fucking dick. And he's like, yeah, that's Leon, what'd he do? And I'm like a fucking choke slam on a run-in, and then acted like he was dying the rest of the night and was just a piece of shit. And he's like, and then he just started getting all pumped up, like telling old, like, Vader's a piece of shit stories to the point that he's like, well, I'll tell you this much, man. I'm going to do more than a fucking choke slam tonight, brother. And I'm like, cool. So I think I got him, like, kind of amped up and, like, ready to go.
And you were on Vader duty, too, when Vader was here.
Oh, he was so fucking horrible.
That was your guy.
No. Fucking Too Cold was my guy. Fucking Guido's my guy. Fucking Vader can just fucking kiss dicks.
Also, since you brought up Uncle Guido, we should point out that, yes, he will, in fact, be at J-Lit if you didn't pay attention to the lineup, folks. And you can definitely catch him at Next Eatery and Drinkery.
Oh, yeah. And he will probably buy you a drink.
More than likely.
Budweiser or a vodka.
Yeah. Yeah, he will probably buy you a drink because he likes to purchase drinks, that little Guido. But, so, yeah, Worldwide kind of got to feel out Scott Norton before everybody.
Yeah. And I mean, I had heard stories that he could like fucking get like weird about like fucking like I think like Daniel Bryan in like an Art of Wrestling talked about him on the New Japan bus, and he'd just get like flip the fuck out over like weird noises and like just small things. And I'm like being mindful of that, and like I'm not smoking in the car or anything, or like doing this, doing that. Oh yeah, apparently my car was too dirty for Scott fucking
You cleaned
Flash
your car
Norton.
out for this.
I did clean my car. Well, I at least cleaned out the fucking front two seats.
Yeah, and then he wanted to speak to me on the phone because he's like a guy that wants to talk on the phone.
He's a phone talker.
So he wanted to call me when he was when he had gotten to his hotel and talk a little business over the phone.
Oh.
And he called me, and the first thing he said is like, "Hey, brother, why don't you tell that fucking guy that picked me up to clean his fucking car out? That thing's a fucking mess."
So you didn't clean it out enough.
Hey, here's the thing. I cleaned the shit out of my 99 Toyota ashtray, and you know what? I like had like everything immaculate in the front seats. I mean, I didn't vacuum it or anything.
But did you forget that he was going to have luggage he had to put in the trunk?
Oh, yeah, in the trunk. And, you know, I had like some leftover beer and like Weird World merch in the trunk. It was fine. I mean, oh, wait, and we had Weird Body in the back seat, too.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Was he sleeping?
No, he was trying to broach the Korea show with Norton because he wanted to like ask him about that shit.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Oh.
He got a little bit out of it, and I think somehow that led into a conversation about Too Cold. And he's like, oh, fucking Too Cold. I haven't seen him since maybe fucking Korea. Fuck.
Sounds like he was in the war.
Scott Norton, deepest, scariest voice on earth, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But he's so nice. I mean, even after the show, like I was downstairs and, you know, making sure everybody was cool, got all their gear and shit, and there's Scott Norton. I just wanted to thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for that introduction and tell everyone thanks for having me and blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever, Mr. Norton, whatever you say, man. Like, thanking us. You're a 56-year-old man. Just put your body through hell. We're thanking you, brother. But nice as can be. So I don't know about these stories with the short fuse. Didn't happen that night.
We had an almost.
Oh.
No, it not like with me. It was after fucking brunch the next day. Like we were like turning like the corner on 65th in Detroit. There's my geography again. But
yeah, let's just get into brunch since we're talking
brunch
about
was
Scott
amazing.
Norton. We'll get to the rest.
We did do brunch with Scott Norton on Saturday.
he told me I looked like a fucking movie star.
Oh, that's right.
Goes back to what I said last week on the podcast. If you dress like a fucking asshole, everyone's gonna think you're famous.
But yeah, we were like
You were dressed like a fucking asshole. That
Oh yeah,
Wolfman
I was
just
good.
pointed to himself for our listeners out there. They couldn't see that.
Hey man, when I buy clothes, I like to ask myself, WWHRD, what would Harley Race do? And
You definitely had a gold chain on, unbuttoned, top buttons.
I was doing it up, and my hair was just
Perfection.
Big tan.
big tan.
You've really been getting into the tanning lately.
Well, I'm in a fucking race right now with Bobby Beverly, and
You're gonna plug your tanning spot, dude. Maybe get a discount.
Yeah.
fucking, I don't know, man. They're like fucking around Daniels, but yeah, fuck that. Fucking Palm Beach tans all day. Lakewood, tell them I sent you. It gets me $7.50 off product.
It's on Detroit Road in Lakewood.
Yep, in the March
Chipotle.
Plaza,
Yeah.
right next to my work. I get paid to tan. It's great.
Don't tell everybody where you work.
No,
Keep
we
that-
gotta make them
that
pay
quiet.
for that.
Yeah. You work them. That's your job, dude. Working them.
So tell us about brunch with
All right,
Scott Norton.
this is the short fuse deal.
Well, no. Before we get to that, we went to brunch with Scott Norton. We took him to
XYZ, we'll put it over.
yeah, we took him to XYZ. We want to
okay.
take him to a nice local establishment.
Right
Good-
down the road from the venue.
Good brunch, right by Mount Carmel. Excellent brunch selection. So we
Solid Bloody Marys.
we went there.
Little pricey,
All three of us got the corned beef hash. It was there's a lot of corned beef being had at that table.
I set off a fucking waterfall of corned beef hash.
And then he told us, he just sat there and he told us great stories. I don't know if this is like breaking news or whatever, but he's like got an autobiography that's coming out pretty soon.
I'm stoked.
And he was telling us some of the crazy shit that has gone on in his life. And I was like, I'm not a reader by any means.
Yeah.
But like the shit that he was telling me, like I would definitely want to fucking read this
You're
book.
in. You at least want to get it on tape.
Because it was some fucking, like, he was telling me some crazy shit. And
I had no idea he was a bodyguard for fucking Prince.
yeah. And
Yeah, how about that?
yeah, not like I don't want to divulge too much because of his fucking book or whatever. But yeah, he was telling us all kinds of fucking crazy shit. And then, like, that's the stuff that like is awesome about being a pro wrestling promoter. There's all this like awful shit that you got to deal with and all this stress. But then like there's moments like that where you're just like eating some corned beef hash, having yourself a mimosa on a Saturday morning with Scott Norton. And
Hearing about him beating the shit out of fucking Ernest Miller.
yeah, and just hearing about his hatred for Ernest the Cat Miller.
Though it went back and forth where
And it is just like we must have been there for 2 hours, and he is just telling these stories, and that's the kind of shit that's awesome about wrestling, like which is few and far between. But like when it happens, it's fucking it's awesome. And then I guess you get to your short fuse situation.
Oh yeah, so we're leaving XYZ and we're like walking over to the parking lot, and this dude's stepping out of the fucking what was it, the coffee shop, Gypsy Bean. What's up? And
It's just putting over
the
everybody on
dude's
this
just
podcast.
like fucking we're just putting over all of Gordon Square. It's the home for AIW.
Can't wait to catch a
at
movie
Mount
at
Carmel.
Capitol Theater.
Oh yeah. But yeah, this dude walks out and he's like, God damn, man, why is your friend so fucking red? And like Norton turns around like, what the fuck you say? I'm like, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. And we just kept walking and he's like, what the fuck did that guy just say? And I'm like, I don't know. He just doesn't understand a couple of handsome tan dudes. And he's like, yeah, that's right. And then like drove him to the fucking airport, hugged it out. Got a little weird towards the end because there was like a lull in conversation. And he's like, so what do you think of all this fucking political shit that's going on? No. And I was like, oh, God. I was like, I think we're just swirling the drain, man. He's like, swirling the drain. I like that. So what, you like vote for Trump? I was like, nah. He's like, you vote for Hillary? I was like, nah. You didn't vote? I'm like, nah. He's like, yeah, whatever. And then we were at the airport, and that was the long and short of that. But it all, once again, just fucking minefield. Because I'm like, and then he was like talking about training for fucking arm wrestling again. He was like super amped on that shit.
Yeah. He said he's gonna
He's getting back into it?
He said he's gonna do the senior circuit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's going to take on that guy from that documentary, Pulling John, because I asked him about that guy, and he's like, yeah, he never fucking beat me. He says he beat me. He never fucking beat me.
Yeah, well, so Scott Norton was excellent.
He has lived an amazing life. By all means, look out for Scott Norton's autobiography whenever that does hit bookstores, I guess, or online.
And any promoters out there, by all means, book a brother. You'll have a great time.
Oh, yeah, he's excellent.
Absolutely.
And I guess, like, you know, watch the match is amazing. We don't need to really talk about the match, but my favorite thing is, like, after it was over, Scott Norton was, like, in the locker room, you know, and he is just feeling alive. You know what I mean? Because, like, they just had this awesome match, and I was like, hey, Scott, how'd it go? He goes, Joey, baby. Joey can go, baby. He just kept saying that. Joey can go.
That's the second Joey that he loves, too, because he loves Joey Ryan. He had a match with him, like, a couple of months before. Yeah, and he was just putting over Joey Ryan left and right.
He just goes, Joey can go, baby. Joey can go. And he said he was basically as good of a worker as Chris Benoit.
Wow. Let's hope.
High praise for Mr. Janela.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was, that
and
was
a fair warning.
Scott Norton. Before we get into the rest of the card that was Gauntlet for the Gold, the one thing, as we were setting up for this podcast, it's called The Card is Going to Change. The one thing that we talked about leading into this is that the card pretty much stayed the same. We really didn't have much trouble with that in terms of last-minute changes, but this was the week that Chandler Biggins went into the hospital, and hell, we still had a show that we had to do.
I mean, this was pretty much my worst nightmare situation, like that I would kind of like think about at times and be like, there's, you know, like, this would be the worst possible thing that could happen to me, is like, because we did not have many systems in place within AIW. It was just kind of like go. We just did things, and you know, like, we're incorporated, but we don't have a business account. You know, we have a business PayPal and things like that. And so, you know, here we are. Chandler goes into the hospital the Saturday before Gauntlet for the Gold. Says it's only going to be a few days. Obviously, it has not been a few days because he's still in the hospital.
As you all know now, yeah.
8 weeks later. But you know, the thing that happened is I purposely did not give myself access to any of the AIW funds because I am irresponsible. I'm very responsible, and I could potentially be irresponsible.
Sure.
As far as, you know, just having access to all that money.
It's a responsible thing to know that you could be irresponsible.
Like, you know, I could get drunk, and, you know, I could be at the strip club with Hornswoggle, and that could be it. You know what I mean? So
I heard some people do that.
Yeah. So we purposely just set it up that way. And so there's no easy, like, hey, if anything ever happened, like, this is an easy transition.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the money without putting a lot of stress on Chandler's family, because I had none of it. I had nothing. Which I just had, you know, my personal money, which isn't that much.
Yeah, he had cash laying around. He had some checks thanks to our sponsors that didn't get cash.
Still have not been cashed. Anyway, I'm trying to figure everything out, and I get his brother to figure out what the passwords are for all of his accounts, and I log into the AIW PayPal, and there's $37 or something like that in there. Like, that's like it. And I'm like, okay, this is like, I'm not very familiar with PayPal. Like, I'm like, is it in like a different like folder, or is there like somewhere else you could put it?
You still got to pay all the boys when they come in.
Some pending shit.
Yeah, and I'm just like, no, that's it. And then I'm just like texting his brother, and I'm just like, I'm trying to be like as sensitive to the situation as possible, but I know that I have a show in, at this point, 3 days, you know?
Right.
And I was like, hey man, like, is there any money like in your brother's room or anywhere? And he's He's like, "No, man, nothing. There's nothing in his car. Nothing. And I'm like, "Oh fuck," and like, you know, props to a lot of people stepped up and said that they would float me alone. You know, guys like, you know, Smart Mark Video. I don't even know if they want this out there, but I'm gonna put it out there. You know, they had offered to give us an advance. Hornswoggle offered to give me a loan. You know, even the Duke, but that was gonna come with a price.
Some strings.
Yeah,
Somebody wanted to get strapped.
The Duke World Order was he was trying to make
pussy hair away.
Okay, that was a little graphic.
It's very
but
racy.
The Duke was trying to make a deal with the devil, or have me make a deal with the devil. But several people, you know, did offer to help, which was, it eased my mind, but I didn't want that. And also Monsoon Classic, who did float some money just so we had like change and things like that, because we had nothing.
Right.
But so his brother finds like a few $1,000s just underneath some papers next to the couch in the living room.
Surprised it wasn't under his mattress.
Yeah, no, it was just like in a pile. It was. He said that he was about to throw all this stuff away, and there was just like a couple $1,000s there. Like, this was the system that Chandler had in place.
Jesus, I'm sure it all made sense to him.
It all probably made sense to him, but there was no way to get that from him. You know,
There was no Diary of a Madman.
Yeah, there's no like treasure map, and he's in a coma. You know what I mean? So It was just like, it was like trying to put a puzzle together, and you did not have all the pieces. So that was very, I guess, eye-opening into, I'm gonna have a much bigger task in front of me than I anticipated. You know, because I didn't know the ticketing. I didn't know. I had to figure out all this stuff. I had to get access to his email, because like those notifications, like they were directly forwarded to his personal email, and like I had to figure out all this stuff in a matter of like 3 days, and like thankfully, you know, his family understood the situation, because I mean, I would say, you know, 99% of anybody else's family would be like, fuck off. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
and Chandler was a big reason why we decided, I think we've talked about it before, to even have the show, because he is that quintessential guy who was like, no, we have a show. The show is booked. We can't cancel this for all these people. All these people have made all sorts of plans. People coming from out of town. The show's got to go on. He's that guy who's always said that.
Yeah, and I was worried. I didn't even know how many tickets were sold. I didn't know. We had virtually stopped promoting that whole week because of this situation, you know?
Fucking Pedro came in super clutch, too.
I mean, yeah.
And has continued to.
And he has said that he will going forward for as long as I need, which was, you know, I was just explaining to him the situation of what was going on with Chandler, because, you know, they were very close. Pedro's been involved for almost the entire duration of AIW, and he was just like, hey man, if you need me to be there and kind of take over his tasks, I will be there. And you know, and he said I will be there going forward, because he said, I know you're not gonna, because here's the thing is, like, there's a zillion motherfuckers that would have been like, yeah man, I'll handle the money, but you can't trust it. And we had that in very early AIW, is like people were just like dipping their hands in, and a lot of things weren't adding up. Not that we had fucking crack accounting to begin with, but
and to kind of unveil some behind the scenes things too, as you say, the money. One of the issues that we ran into is, has been discussed in the show, you book half the roster, Chandler books half the roster.
Right.
You don't necessarily know how much everybody gets paid.
Yeah, I didn't know a lot of the payoffs. You know, and thankfully, some of the, you know, the veteran locker room guys like Josh Prohibition and Ethan Page, they kind of stepped up, and you know, I like came up with this like form, and I was just like, can you guys just go around and, you know, figure this out for me? Right. Because, you know, I'm doing, like, the one thing that this taught me is I think I'm I'm a very good delegator of tasks while trying to manage the overall like process of what's going on.
Sure.
Because I did realize that I could not do everything on my own.
Oh, there's no way.
So I did delegate some tasks, and that's the thing is like, and then maybe guys that I would have negotiated with 2 years ago, I did not keep that information stored inside my brain. Chandler always did the payoffs and filled the envelopes, so he just always knew it off the top of his head or whatever.
Yeah.
So like there was guys that we've been working with for years, and I had no idea what to pay them because that just wasn't part of my my responsibilities before. So I wasn't even, that's information that just like went out of my brain. You know what I mean?
Worldwide, did you get a pay bump that day?
No.
No? Okay, just checking.
Honesty. I would.
I mean, everyone's been booked ever since, so I don't think we had any major fibbers.
Well, I mean, we don't know because Chandler has not been able to.
Which is true.
I'm keeping detailed books of all the payoffs.
I mean, to be real, during the locker room meeting, Eddie Kingston did say he was going to lie about his pay. So if he did, he told you he was going to lie about it.
Told you ahead of time.
Double negative. He's fine.
Well, there you go. There's that.
I would hope that nobody lied, but like I said, I'm keeping pretty pretty intricate books going forward, and that's kind of the thing is we're taking this kind of as a blessing to get things in order for when Chandler is ready to return. So it's not the old chaotic system that we had before. Pedro has really gotten things organized, and it's been excellent.
Maybe get a Google Doc or something that everyone can look at.
I don't want everyone.
Well, not everyone.
Yeah, just maybe the inner circle or something. Right. But and like the students have all stepped up. Because Chandler had all these things set up. The
fuckery with renting vans.
He had all these things set up for auto pay with U-Hauls and things like that.
Yeah.
So we had to figure all that out, and that's been a whole fucking process. Who would have thought that it is so fucking difficult to rent U-Hauls, but it has turned into.
Who would have thought it's so difficult for people to have over $100 in their bank account?
We'll get into that on a later episode.
Yeah, that is a later episode, which you could partake in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But so it's been so that's what I'm saying is going back to what I was saying earlier, and we bumped up the ticket prices for Gauntlet and things this year. It's to get things on track. I think that we were undercharging for the tournaments previously, and we would always lose money on these tournaments every single year.
Well, when's the last time you changed prices?
It's been a long time.
So, folks got to understand, everything changes prices. You haven't done anything. You haven't touched it in a long time.
And it's not going to be something going forward like, hey, it's going to be so expensive to come to AIW. But, we have so many additional, I guess, expenses for the Gauntlet weekend, including like a lot more hotels, a lot more flights.
Yeah, whereas typically maybe a couple people stay in a hotel on a Friday night, they got to stay over. Everybody is staying in a hotel Friday night.
And, it's 2 days, so that's 2 days of pay.
Right.
And 2 days of venue rental and all this stuff. So that was just kind of, after being able to kind of look at the books and look at the financial situation that we were in, coming off of this Gauntlet for the Gold show, that's why, things are changing going forward a little bit. And, also, as we discussed last week, the loss of the YouTube revenue and Chandler's eBay revenue.
Yeah.
So I don't want to keep harping on it, but this was the show Gauntlet for the Gold that like opened our eyes to all of these things. And Chandler was a guy that I think maybe he did not want to address the problems and was just kind of hoping for the best sort of thing. Because I am a very like direct kind of like, no, this cannot be happening sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think he kind of kept some of the financial hardships a little more under wraps and a little more undercover. And I think he was just hoping that he would be able to bounce them back through the different revenue streams. And because, I mean, I'm a guy that's ready to fucking close the company.
I was just going to say, which was maybe wise on his point because he loves having the company. And you're the guy who's always like, I don't know. We're going to
I love having the company, but I am not in the position to like bankrupt my whole life for it.
Yes.
So and it has nothing to do with how much I love the company or not, but it's just like him and I were in different kind of living situations and just different places. So it's just kind of like, hey man, like I cannot, early AIW, like I wouldn't even care if I lost money. I'd throw like a whole paycheck in there and be like, fuck it, this is fun. But like as you get older and you develop more responsibilities and more kind of like just adult tasks that you have to handle.
Well, you get a cat. Cat's got to eat.
Cat's got to eat, man.
Got to shit too.
Yeah, got to get that litter.
Whew.
Yeah, okay. All right. And, so Chandler and I would always, whenever there was kind of like a thing, I'd be like, dude, like, we got to get this together. And like, we always wanted to be like by the fans, for the fans type of promotion. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know for myself, like I'm not spending a ton of money on entertainment, like in my real life, because things are expensive to do. So we try to keep things very reasonably priced.
You were hot at me when you had to pay $5 for a Basement Boys show.
I was, man. I'm telling, especially maybe it's different in Cleveland. Cleveland is a very kind of like, I guess it's not very rich or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
sure. Very middle class.
I'm very, like I don't have a lot of disposable income, and I don't think a lot of people have a disposable income around here. So we would always try to keep things as reasonably priced as possible. But I just going over things for the Gauntlet weekend, I had to bump some stuff up, and this Gauntlet for the Gold show was kind of the catalyst for that.
I think he's cute. He's so sexy.
Hey there, everybody. It's Alex Worldwide Kellar here to tell you all about Thrift Store Jobber on Instagram and also Etsy. He's got all the choicest wrestling merchandise from yesteryear to today, and he's got a doozy right here. We have Shawn Michaels all over print WWF shirt from he's got that mullet. 1992, 3, somewhere in there. He's a sexy boy, and you'll be a sexy boy in this shirt. $85 for an XL. Make you look like $1 million, Pally. Worldwide at Thrift Store Jobber.
I hear him talk. He makes me feel like I'm on cloud nine. He's just my sexy boy. He's not your boy toy.
Well, let's talk about the rest of the show itself. We already talked about Scott Norton, Joey Janela. That was fun. The opening match was Eddie Kingston and Hornswoggle, and people had a lot of fun with that matchup. I think those two did as well.
I hate to pull back the curtain a little bit too much, but Hornswoggle was trying to get Eddie Kingston to light his hand on fire.
With the back fist.
For the back fist?
For the back fist.
I still have a bottle of Bacardi 151.
To the point to where he pulled out money himself and sent somebody to go buy 151, and thankfully that did not happen.
It did not happen.
But
I was told to keep
next time.
I was told to keep it for another time. So I have not opened this bottle.
Spoiler alert: there may be some flaming body parts coming soon in AIW because the bottle is just bottle is ready.
It is ready to go. Still in the liquor bag.
That was just one of those one of those matches that I think is a perfect example that you could just put on like the fucking definition of AIW if we were ever in the dictionary. It's just fucking weird, freak show type of matchup with two guys that we book on a regular basis, regular roster members. And it was weird. It was, and I think it served its purpose. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I got ball tapped twice in that match before it even started. Actually,
Well,
Usually Eddie does it, but Swoggle did it first.
I think I was downstairs stretching, getting ready for the gauntlet.
Ready for the gauntlet.
limbering up.
Yeah.
It's just one of like Hornswoggle. I think gets kind of a bad rap. I think people kind of associate him a little bit too much with his WWE career.
Sure.
Whole other animal.
He is
human.
Yeah, he is a whole different person. And I think, I wish that more companies besides AIW were kind of giving him that room to explore things,
To do different things,
And-
absolutely.
and because he's never not delivered for us. And that's just not because, I developed a friendship with him or whatever. Like, if he sucked, I would tell him that, hey, this isn't working. But
Deceptively heavy, I'll tell you.
he is a heavy guy, dude. I tried to pick him up that one time when I was
Fucking
drunk.
try getting
Yes.
fucking senton by his ass.
Yeah, but, we're throwing these just weird things his way and just to see how it goes. And, so far, so good.
Yeah, I mean, the show in general, fans seem to love it. And as John pointed out, everybody that helped us out, especially you fans, because they packed the house for this show, which is awesome.
Fucking God.
Thank you guys. But people liked that match too. There's been gifs going around there because of Swoggle trying to slap Eddie and Eddie just laughing in his face.
Fuck gifts, man. Buy it.
Yes, I agree. That was fun. And then the next match, people really enjoyed. Poor referee Jake Clemens took a low blow in this one. Speaking of shots to the groin, Ethan Page and Colt Cabana, they put on a spectacle of sorts in the next one. And that was, I mean,
That was a
bit
match.
more straightforward of a match.
The talking shit chat explodes.
Exactly. But that was fun there. Alex Daniels defended the Intense Division title with Sean Schultz. Sean Schultz is another guy who just continues to make a home for himself at AIW.
Yeah, Schultz is a guy that I hope in 6 months is going to be a guy that's getting booked all over the place. Like
Hell of a tan.
hell of a tan on that guy.
He's a Southern boy. He's got that sun.
He's not your normal run of the mill hot indie guy or whatever you want to call it. But he has all the tools in the world to be a major player.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And and experience too. And that was a match that I wanted Alex to have because Alex loves doing these big flip he wants to do that modern super indie match or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And I wanted to kind of throw him a little bit of a curveball and say, hey, why don't you get in here and you wrestle Sean Schultz style because that you got to know how to do that.
Brother it down a bit.
Yeah, you got to know, you know what I mean? Like you got to know how to do that. If you're going to make it to a next level, you got to know how to work this way. So that was kind of a learning experience, fucking master's degree program for Alex Daniels. Just throwing him a little bit of curveball. I don't know what he took from it or not. He's not really a talkative guy.
But it went well. Folks responded well to it. The next match was a submit or surrender match. Things got ugly there. The Bone Collector, Dominic Guarini, proud AIW graduate there from the school, taking on BJ Whitmer. And that was BJ's swan song for AIW.
Yeah, that was something we were kind of building up a little bit here and there for the last few months. And that was another thing that was, that was a master's degree for Dominic Guarini in a different department.
Oh yeah.
Yes, the everlasting memory of
to
Dominic
get color,
Guarini.
or I'm trying to think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
fucking
Kaplan,
bastard.
Kaplan probably got some color,
Yeah,
but
probably.
not on purpose.
Yeah. Or with permission.
The everlasting image there from that match is Dominic Guarini walking across the ring barefoot over thumbtacks.
I had just gotten done warming up. I had done my 500 Hindus down in the locker room, limbering up for the Gauntlet, and I came up to watch this fucking match. And Dom goes down in those goddamn thumbtacks, and then he comes up, and he's like I could see like he's like standing in them, and he has no fucking shoes on because he's a psycho, and I could see that he's kind of like light on his feet, like sort of like chicken footing it, T-Rex footing it, like, and then I can see him just plant his feet, and I'm like, oh, adrenaline just took over, and fucking then he was just balls to the wall. But I could see for a second there he was like, oh, I'm a dumb fuck for these fucking thumbtacks, and then like just like I'm a fucking huge cock man destroyer, fuck you. And it was a real fun transformation to watch.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I think, BJ Whitmer was another one of those guys that kind of got a bad rap in recent years on the indies, but there's nobody that is going to teach somebody better in the ring than BJ Whitmer.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure Worldwide got a first-hand ass kicking that way.
I did. I told Dom, I'm like, if you really want to make him mad and confuse him, just move way too fast. He'll tell you to slow down, just go faster.
And how did that work for you?
Oh, terrible.
Yeah.
Did you get some sweet chops to the chest?
No, just ate a couple of boots and a what the fuck, and then an exploder.
How was that conversation afterwards?
Oh, it was a lot of, slow down, man, what the fuck? And I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, yeah, blah, blah. And I was like, but yeah, one of those Men Are on the Lake shows.
Well, we do wish BJ the best. Like I said, that was his last match here for AIW. He's exclusive elsewhere now, so we won't get to see him for at least a while.
A little bit.
The next match we want to get into, perhaps the match that stole the show. I know it's the Gauntlet for the Gold. The Gauntlet in itself was amazing and is a spectacle, but this was something that people are still going crazy about. It's the tag team match that was 4 different teams, right? Yeah, to Infinity and Beyond. The Ninja Elite Squad, which is Facade and Flip Kendrick. The tag team champions of Crazy Payne, Gringo Loco and Steve Payne, plus Laredo Kid and DJ Z teaming up.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and talk about this match all night. All I got to say is this was perfect pro wrestling.
This is one for the DVD and VOD people. You should buy it. Absolutamente.
It has everything, and the finish is amazing.
Wrestling is shit.
Yeah, it is so fucking pro wrestling, and that's what I love. That's what, like, the match is awesome, but I love the finish the most, and the genuine reaction that live crowd gave, and that's all I'm really gonna say about it. I mean, it was perfect.
I will say this inside information. There is a point happening in the match where, as ring announcer, it looks like you might be watching it and you should be like, Steve Guy, get the fuck out of the way. What are you doing? And even Hornswoggle suggested to me afterwards, hey, you should have gotten out of the way. But those guys knew exactly what they were doing. And during the course of that match, somebody was on the outside of the ring. I got pulled off to the side and was told, stay where you are, never move. And I mean, you'll watch it and you'll know the exact moment. The whole thing, just incredible. They were everywhere. And the match never slowed down, but I don't know. I can't describe it.
I didn't get to watch it live because I was down back in the locker room warming up, neck bridging for about 10 minutes straight, and really getting ready for my Gauntlet appearance. But I've watched it back since then. Just Jesus H. Christ.
Do we give away the finish there?
No, let's just keep it rolling.
All right, we won't tell you the finish. If you watch it and you're a big fan of AIW and you're into our storylines and you're into this podcast, you might get pretty angry at that one. Scott Norton, Joey Janela,
What's wrong with what they did?
And then finally came the triple threat championship match for the absolute title. Tim Donst, Josh Prohibition, and Tracy Williams. What a spectacle that was as well. We have a lot of fun there. You have the match stops and then restarts because essentially Tim Donst taps out to Hot Sauce and Josh Prohibition.
We got real pro wrestling on this show. Gauntlet for the Gold was
really did.
It's like a fucking
one for the ages.
Yeah, like an episode of Raw.
Yeah.
Oh, better than a fucking episode of Raw. Get out of my face.
It's like an episode of fucking USWA.
All right, I'll take that.
World class.
Yeah. And again, going back to the fans and people who like packed the gym, I think watching it on DVD, you're going to be even more invested because there were so many people there and they were so into every single match.
And let me say something about this. Like, there's a lot of people that watch our DVDs and they like shit on the pro wrestlingness of some of the shows, which is a ridiculous statement, but they don't like the angles and the storylines and the finishes. Like
you.
I think booking dream matches is so lazy and just easy. And anybody could do it. I could put Guy A versus Guy B, and they can wrestle for 15 minutes and have a great match. And then the next match, I can put Guy C versus Guy D, and they can do the same exact thing. And, that's just not fun for me.
Right.
That's just not what I want to do. And if you don't like the DVD, the thing that you got to understand is there is a live audience that the majority of is biting on these angles and reacting to them and giving the people the desired reaction that we are going for. So you have to kind of understand that it's two different experiences.
Yeah, this is a story that's been building this entire year thus far, going up to Gauntlet for the Gold. It started really last year in 2016, and even now it keeps continuing to build.
It's a river, not a swimming pool, man, you know?
Sure.
Wise words of wisdom.
There you go, from Worldwide. And then finally we got to Gauntlet for the Gold. A lot of fun there. Speaking of the AIW students, PB Smooth that was like a coming out party of sorts for himself.
And
there.
I just remembered one thing.
Yeah.
There was one change on the card.
Oh.
Andy Williams from Every Time I Die was booked to be one of the Gauntlet Mysteries, but had to pull out because he ended up having to leave for tour a day earlier than was originally planned. And that is where Matt Classic came into play.
Matt Classic drew number 2.
Yes.
In Gauntlet for the Gold. And, as I said, PB Smooth made himself known in that. But then we talk about the big surprises. Our surprises, the theme we have said, which started when Biggins was here with us, in 2017 moving forward, we are trying to be a feel-good year. For the most part, aside from what's going on with Biggins, we continue to do that because Gauntlet for the Gold saw 2 big AIW returns in Bobby Beverly and Matthew Justice.
Yeah, Matthew Justice has been gone for 9 years. Bobby Beverly, I don't know, 3 or 4.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Definitely not as long.
Not as long as him. But both got, that's another thing. Like, maybe the DVD audience isn't going to care that much. Locally, these guys got such big reactions, which I was honestly even shocked at. I did not foresee those reactions.
You saw people would be happy.
And those were honestly the reason why those guys got more bookings, because it was a one and done feel good Gauntlet for the Gold booking for both of them. And the crowd reaction instantly got me to give them more dates and book them on more shows. There was no long-term plan for either of those guys. So that kind of goes to show you how important it is how the live audience reacts to things.
Right.
Because, that was just kind of a like, hey, this will be a cool little one-night thing in the Gauntlet. And, here they are. Matthew Justice has now been on every show since. He's entered into the J-Lit at the end of the month, which was not the plan.
He has a better band than Fozzy, I'll tell you that.
And, Bobby Beverly and Eric Ryan have reunited the young studs. They're, I guess, I don't know, they're the young men at this point, or the not so young studs.
The middle-aged studs? I don't
gents.
know.
The young gentlemen. But, that's all because of...
Tanning adversaries.
It's all because of the reaction that the live crowd gave them when they came out as surprises at the Gauntlet for the Gold.
And Worldwide, how was your Gauntlet for the Gold? We've gone the entire show. You told us about how much you were stretching and you're getting limber.
Well, I'll tell you, last year I wasn't ready for BJ Whitmer. Came in, got out, set a record. That was cool. And this year, I think I had a good hot 10 minutes somewhere in there.
I forgot. You came out right at probably the worst moment that you probably could have came out.
I came out to fucking, what was it, PB Smooth and T Money with Marion Fontaine hiding somewhere like a smart guy.
How smart were you?
I wasn't that smart at all.
Marion Fontaine drew number 1.
Yeah.
Lasted for such a long time. That's worth noting.
Marion Fontaine, the only competitor to compete in every single Gauntlet for the Gold.
There you go.
That 7-foot son of a bitch. Fucking heaviest goddamn boots. He claims his boots were heavy. I'm like, no, I think you were fucking heavy. But
and you heard a heavy hands. He's throwing heavy.
Bringing the thunder. I had my nice pose down with Ethan Page. I think I can't. On commentary, somebody put over the tan.
Worldwide is flexing right now.
He just flexed.
This is an audio podcast.
He was like winking and flexing all the same time.
I'm in a really dark place right now, guys. But the Gauntlet was a highlight.
When aren't you in a dark place?
When I'm in the tanning bed, brother.
Are we to talk about your extracurricular activities with with the one lady that you discussed with me at Denny's the other night?
Oh, wait, what the fuck was that?
Maybe we'll have to say that for another episode. As he thinks about it. Hey, who threw you out in the Gauntlet for the Gold?
Oh, that would be those dirty so-and-sos, Infinity and Beyond.
Oh, those dirty bad guys.
Dirty so-and-sos.
Yeah. Wouldn't mind a crack at those titles one of these days.
Oh,
Tell
yeah,
you
you
what.
think you're a contender?
Oh,
Yeah, you know.
spoiler alert, because we didn't mention that. They did win you might as well now. They did win the tag titles. We won't tell you how.
There's a
watch the
DVD not sold. I'm
folks.
sorry.
I can't believe you aren't remembering the story of the lady that you told me at Denny's.
The lady.
While you think
Which lady? I mean, there's...
Oh, whoa.
You guys just exchanged the same acts back and forth with each other?
Is this some agent of Riverberry? What the hell's going on here?
Nothing to do with David Riverberry.
Nothing to do with David Riverberry. Lady at Denny's? Was she at Denny's?
No, you told the story at Denny's.
The story at Denny's. What the hell did she do?
She's pissed in your mouth.
liquids.
Oh, you really want to go there?
I mean,
Children might be listening to this.
maybe we'll save that one for another day.
Yeah, we'll save that one. I pissed in her mouth, too, for the record.
All right.
There was piss reciprocity? Yeah, somewhere in there.
Okay.
I can spell it. I can't say it.
Reciprocity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a Bigginsism.
Yeah. There you go. Well, I guess we didn't say that story.
It's 2017. Everyone needs to grow the fuck up. That's all I'm saying.
I think we better wrap it up on that one.
Yeah. We'll end it with this Gauntlet for the Gold. I'm not going to tell you the name of the winner. All I'm going to tell you is that he didn't used to be a pirate, but I feel like he's really adopted this.
He's really embraced
He
it.
is embracing it. You got anything to say to wrap this up?
Oh, just that thunderous goddamn pop when he won. Jesus Christ. That crowd was hot.
The feel good story.
Telling stories here. We're making movies.
The feel good story of AIW.
What a nice clean
2017
shot.
Continues.
Give me a nice clean shot.
That's our Gauntlet for the Gold episode with a little bit of a preview into J-Let weekend coming up. Don't forget May 26th, 27th. Get your tickets at shop.aiwrestling.com.
Buy the rest of those combo packs.
Absolutely.
Buy them all. And also, it's my birthday that weekend, so buy me something too.
And there you go. Don't forget, that's a 2-day event. So during the day on Saturday, go grab some food from one of our partners in Melt Bar and Grill.
We're working on getting you guys some discounted melt for J-Lit weekend.
We are working on that. And also, of course, as always, one of our main sponsors, check them out, Angelo's Pizza on Madison Avenue in Lakewood. Thanks to Smart Mark Video and Jack Prince for AIW owner John Thorne and Alex Worldwide.
Worldwide.
My name is Steve Guy. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Thanks.
Yeah, okay.